Here we go, fourth quarter from Albuquerque with Sed Bonner and Brad Thompson. I'm Drew Goodman. 17-3, Matt Wells' Aggies trying to win for the 5th time this year. Magic number in college football is 6 for bowl eligibility. And New Mexico begins the fourth quarter with a chestnut run. He's got a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. New Mexico has moved the ball decently in the game, but they've been plagued by turnovers. 3 official, 1 unofficial. They had a first down on a 4th down, and they fumbled the ball. They actually lost the first down and then had to turn it over on that particular play. So really, from a coach's standpoint, it's been 4 turnovers. This option's well defended, and Jordan just tucks his head. Getting credit for the tackle, Gage Ferguson.
This defense is doing a nice job of staying home. But Drew, when you talk about those turnovers, you might as well throw that touchdown that was taken off the board in there as well. So that, to me, that makes another.
On the offensive pass interference, and then they had a 5-yard penalty after that for illegal participation, and that forced the field goal to be much longer, and it was missed.
You got to give yourself a chance. They've done everything this game not to.
3rd down and 6, and a sack at the 30-yard line. Ferguson came off the edge, and he gets Lamar Jordan. First sack of the game. And for Ferguson, that's his first sack of the year.
And here's what bothers me is look up front. You see 3 offensive linemen. They turn block with their shoulders. No recognition the opposite direction. And granted, you have protection where you slide, but somebody's got to be aware of pressure weak side.
Bojorquez with the punt. Oh my goodness, this is a monster punt. And this is going to die at the 1-yard line. Are you kidding me? That is a 69-yard punt. He has 4 punts this year of 70-plus yards. He's glad that didn't go 70, though.
In the zone, Drew.
One of the best in the nation. A lot of pretty pictures around Albuquerque, New Mexico. 17-3, New Mexico had one of their best plays of the day, and it came from their punter, which has been a consistent theme. Corey Bojorquez with a 69-yard punt. He's averaging, said, about 49 yards a punt this year. He has a long of 78. He's 2nd in the nation in gross average.
So he's been special.
Luan Hunt will get 5 as we check in with Brad Thompson downstairs. More on Bojorquez. Brad.
Guys, you were talking about this punter. Okay, so last year he got benched in the 5th game of the season against Boise State due to poor performance. He missed 1 game, got back out there. Ever since, he has been phenomenal. You mentioned those numbers. And another interesting tidbit, he's an ordained minister. He's married a couple people as well.
Well, I'll tell you one other tidbit, Brad, about him. He's dropped 30 pounds since he arrived on campus. He's really gotten himself in good shape. Yeah, those kickers said they all hang out together, right?
They hang out, golf. I'm sure they're all good golfers.
Yeah.
Doing everything but, you know, mostly allergic to the weight room, but he's kind of turned it around. And
so he hangs with Jason Sanders, the kicker, all the time, because they can practice by themselves before the team drills, right? Sanders has gained a bunch of weight in the weight room, and they feed off each other. One guy's lost weight, the other guy's gained good weight.
It's healthy, good competition.
They speak the same language, kickers and punters.
They do, and it's an odd language.
3rd down and 3. Pressure coming, and the throw is incomplete. So New Mexico desperately needed to take advantage of that great punt and get a 3-and-out, and they so Utah State and Aaron Dalton will have to hit one from his own end zone. Dalton's last punt was a 63-yarder. Romel Jordan, local kid from Rio Rancho.
And I'm not sure if I don't ask him to fair catch this regardless here.
At the 45-yard line, he does exactly that, the plus 45-yard line. So New Mexico with great field position. Remember last year, this game went down to literally the final snap. Utah State, Tony Lindsay scored a couple of times, and then with 1:06 left, Jason Sanders kicked a 40-yarder. And then the scramble by Kent Myers, and they had no timeouts, they couldn't get the attempt off. And Bob Davie was able to celebrate a 24-21 victory. And now they're going to go to Tavaka Tuioti at quarterback. This is to pass. And a long throw into a crowd, and it's broken up down there by the intended target, Delane Hart Johnson.
And I'm okay with taking a shot there, doing that. And Hart Johnson does a nice job, goes and attacks the ball and makes sure it can't be intercepted. This is a nice throw. If he gets it outside, he's got a better opportunity. But Hart Johnson turns to DB and gets it out of there. Cameron Miller almost had the pick.
So McCorley's attempt broken up. It's 2nd down and 10. 11:14 to go in the 4th quarter. 2-touchdown lead for Utah State. And jumping that route was Ferguson. He's been everywhere. Patrick Reed was the intended target. It's 3rd and 10.
So we highlighted the safeties early in this game and talked about their importance and the job they'd have to. You see, they have to make plays everywhere, in the alleys, on the sidelines, man-to-man coverage. It's vital for them to have a good game. You see Ferguson the last drive snuffed it out with a sack. And coverage there, he's running the alleys.
Large play here, 2 receivers each way. And they'll throw it to Owens in the flat, and he doesn't have a lot of room to operate. When you throw that into the boundary, you're really limited. There's a 12th defender.
There is, however, when your guy in front of you is blocking the guy to the sideline, you got to get inside, and then you can work back to the sideline. So that's just a visual thing. You've got to catch, get back inside of your block, and work up the sideline from there.
4th and 9. After moment's thought, Bob Davie sends on his punt team, and I think this is the right play. There's still a lot of time. See if you can back up Utah State again.
I would snap the ball in.
Jordan Nathan back to receive.
Jordan Nathan inside his 10. Pressure coming, and it's blocked.
Roughing. It's roughing.
Or he wasn't blocked. He didn't get a piece of it. And this could be a huge break for New Mexico. How did he not block that?
Went at the body instead of across the foot or the toe.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Defense, number 44, 15-yard penalty in an automatic. 1st down. The ball was not tipped by the defense.
That's Louis Compton.
This is just, you got to come across the front of that foot, and he goes through the body. I mean, that's without question roughing. I mean, you got to come across. And he's out of control and kind of loses it there. I mean, that's a dangerous play.
15 yards, 1st down, 30-yard line for New Mexico. Maybe that's the break they've been looking for.
The previous play is under review. The win on the field was the ball was not tipped by the defender.
Let's take a look again to see if Compton got any piece of the football. Boy, that is going to be hard to determine.
It's hard to tell. You don't see his fingers snap back.
Ooh, that, you know, on that angle,
maybe.
you look and you think maybe he did get a little bit of it.
You'd have to slow that down and take a good look, but it looked from that last shot we had that possible that he was able to get some fingers on it.
You know, with a baseball, when they look at these things, you can tell because you see it's a round object. This is a spherical object, so you can't say, oh look, it changed trajectory because it looks odd anyhow.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's a preponderance of evidence to suggest overturning what the original call was.
Right, I agree. I mean, that's one of those ones you'd have to take it frame by frame, as slow as you can. I mean, it'd be very tough.
Absolutely the right challenge for Matt Wells. You know, I'm looking at the hand, and again, it looks like his fingers bent back.
After further review,
but
the ruling on the field stands.
Yeah, I just don't think there's enough there.
And that's why the call was stands, not confirmed.
Not confirmed.
Because there's not enough.
Yep. Bob Davie, maybe for the first time today since this ball game began, has been able to smile at a call. Been 9 penalties on his Lobos and the multitude of first half turnovers. So they get a break, and they have it at the 30-yard line with a fresh set of downs.
All those things said, they're still 2 scores down here with an opportunity. Plenty of time.
Jordan, and it's Jalen Davis making the tackle in space.
So just not enough guys out on the edge.
Jalen Davis.
The fact that Jalen Davis doesn't want to stay blocked. I mean, it's one thing to be a good guy in coverage, to be able to cover stuff, but to be able to come off blocks and get to ball carriers and get guys on the ground, that's when you're a complete corner.
Outside, Jordan, great cut there. Back into the field, as you suggested a moment ago, and he gets the first down.
First down, Lobo.
Gage Ferguson eventually made the tackle.
Got to bring your own blocker sometimes. He's able to freeze Ferguson for a half a second and get inside.
20-yard line. Clock moving inside, 9:20 to play. 17-3 Utah State. Bad pitch, ball on the ground. Utah State has got it, and they're heading the other direction. This is going to go to the end zone. No flags, touchdown. Utah State. Woodward. David Woodward, the redshirt freshman from Olympia, Washington.
And this is just a costly mistake by the freshman. You got to learn to let plays go. He's under pressure right there from Woodward. And then he's able to come off and scoop it and score. So he caused the fumble, recovered it, and returned it. The trifecta. I mean, you just got to make a better decision. You're in traffic. You're trying to make a pitch with a gangly linebacker hanging all over you.
And Jalen Davis kissed Owens right as he was trying to catch that football, and it was behind him on the pitch. So Utah State gains another turnover 4th in the country coming in and forcing turnovers, and they've had a banner day this afternoon in Albuquerque. There's the errant pitch. Davis the knockdown. Woodward the pickup, and he goes 70 yards for a touchdown. 24-3 Aggies. Mountain West football on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Dodge Ram. Guts, glory, Ram. That's pretty rainbow. Lamar Jordan on the bench. We'll see if he comes in, though. That does not look like a guy who's about to play for 2 reasons. One, the quarterback wouldn't be sitting on the bench as they're about to receive the football, and his helmet, I don't think, is anywhere to be found. And remember, he hurt his arm. Brad told us in the first half. Maybe that's part of the reason. That, or down now by 3 scores. They feel they have to put it up naturally the majority of the time, so it'll be Tavaka Tuioti. Marcus Williams with the return. That is just remarkable. 11 turnovers in 2 weeks.
I can't even fathom. I
don't know if I've seen that large a number before.
No, I have no words for it, and it's
7 last week, matched a college football and FBS high this year for turning the ball over in 1 game, and now you follow that up with 4 more, all fumbles. Last week they threw 5 picks.
That's intended for number 8, Hugh Drennan.
Hugh Drennan, the intended target. Safety was rolling in front of that. Fortenberry was on the coverage. Gage Ferguson.
But did he not see the ball?
He didn't turn around, right?
Did he not see the ball? And that's, you know, we talk about not being able to spend quality time in the passing game because their fits and their runs and there's so much timing, and you only have so much time with these guys every day. So you can talk about things all you want, but when you get out on the field, you're supposed to run 8 steps and cut in, or 6 steps and cut in, and you run 7 or you run 5. It doesn't time up well.
Kentrail Moran with the carry. That was closed down nicely by Derek Larson. 240-pound junior from the Cache Valley. He's from Logan, Utah. 3rd down and 9. 8:12 to go for New Mexico. Down by 3 touchdowns. Utah State brings 6. And that was a good decision by Gage Ferguson because he had him in a vulnerable spot and he put him down a little more gently.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that's the sportsman type thing to do.
It was, and it also, not only from a sportsmanship standpoint, it would have cost him 15 yards.
And kept him in the game. But I mean, you can't jump and leave yourself vulnerable like that either.
So New Mexico will be forced to punt it. And we'll watch and see how far Corey Bojorquez could kick this one. Raymond at his 13 makes the fair catch. So another terrific punt from Corey Bojorquez. 24-3 Utah State. Time to provide you with an answer to our CenturyLink high-speed challenge. We'll tell you the results of our poll. Your favorite type of chili? We're in New Mexico, right? 77% like green chili. I was in the minority. I like both. Utah State will try to work some clock here. They're comfortably ahead 24-3, 7-11. For them, conveniently left in the game.
See them look over. They try to hard count early to get New Mexico to show its hand and what they're doing, and they get the signal from the sideline.
Safe throw in the flat, and Raymond tried to spin away and could not. Stanley Barnwell, who started this game out. Does this seem like 6 weeks ago, partner? Stanley Barnwell, first snap of the game, had a pick. Utah State turned it over, and New Mexico was set up with a short field.
And nothing happened.
Well, because they turned it back over. Right.
And nothing happened.
Which
remember that?
Turned out to be symbolic of the day and the last couple of Saturdays for New Mexico.
I thought maybe they had flipped the tides in their favor after that initial play. I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're going to come out and have some things go positive for them.
2nd and 8. And Lawan Hunt with just a couple of yards. It'll set up 3rd down. We watched the game a little bit live, and we saw on tape in preparation for this week, New Mexico play a really sound game in a field goal loss to Colorado State. We know how talented Colorado State is. That's the last time they scored a touchdown.
To me, with this offense, when it's working and they're running it properly, it's tough to deal with. They've had their struggles with the old linemen, but I still can't take enough away from not having that tight end that understands how to lead block and how to get out in space and put a hat on somebody.
And Lawan Hunt ends up losing yardage from where he originally caught the ball. So Utah State will have to punt it back to New Mexico.
4th down and 4.
The challenge for Coach, there's a long list of challenges every week. And for Bob Davie, after this game, keeping his team together naturally, and when you break down the film, because the frustration level has to be at a 10. .39-yard line, the fair catch for Romel Jordan. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedules brought to you by Red Lobster. This looks like it's going to go in the win column for Utah State. They'll go to 5-5 and a game away from bowl eligibility. They have Hawaii at home in Logan, and they travel to Colorado Springs to conclude the season. And for New Mexico, it doesn't get any easier. They have to go to College Station next week to face the Aggies. They're home against an improving UNLV team, and then on the West Coast in San Diego to take on Rocky Long, the former coach at New Mexico, and the Aztecs.
Very tough for them. This is one they had to have. See the option route, you have a fade on the outside, quick out.
Another catch for Jay Griffin, his 5th of the ball game. Jay Griffin, the 4th.
We'll see him peek the corner route or the outside DB if he's going to throw that route again, and make sure he's staying with his guy.
Incomplete, 3rd and 4.
That's a ball that's got to be caught. Somehow you got to do whatever you have to do to catch this ball.
3rd and 4. You know, for Matt Wells's team, you know, it's been a seesaw a little bit, up and down. Last week, not a good week. They faced Boise State and fell 41-13. 2 weeks ago, they blew out UNLV with a great second half, 52-28. They lost a woulda-coulda game against Wyoming, 28-23. But they have, on the scramble of 1st down, a real good chance to finish 7-5. And that's not to dismiss Hawaii and Air Force by any stretch. That'll be tough winning at the Air Force Academy. And you look at Matt Wells back when he was a coach. But keep in mind, last year they went 3-9, which was, you know, very atypical, at least of what we've seen over the last decade in Logan, Utah. So to bounce back and get yourself very close to bowl eligibility again for Coach Wells, nice step today.
Absolutely, a nice step. And we talked to him earlier in the season about what it took to kind of turn things around and kind of forget about what happened before. They took a hard look in the mirror. He said he took a hard look in the mirror at himself, brought in Coach Yost made some changes, some tough changes.
Fourth offensive coordinator in 4 years.
And sometimes when you're an old quarterback and your head coach, you might be too close to a situation. He went out and got a quality coordinator, and Coach Yost has continually done a great job.
Chris Davis the catch, a pickup of 9. So it's 3rd and short. And they'll run a QB sneak with Tuioti for the first down. That'll stop the clock momentarily with 3:41 to play. Here we all wish we had. There's Coach Yost.
And you never get the feeling when you're talking to him that he's trying to rush you out of the room either.
No, real engaging guy. Here's Tuioti running toward the end zone. Tuioti, touchdown, New Mexico. What a run by Tuioti. 34-yard scamper.
He actually showed a burst here. Once he got an open space, watch the scramble. He's able to work his way up into the pocket. But once he gets out in this area, watch him just turn on the jets.
Tuioti had 87 yards rushing on the season coming in. He got almost half of that on that run. So the first touchdown in a couple of weeks for New Mexico. And the extra point added by Jason Sanders.
And the kick is good.
Now we'll get to see his, I would think, down by 2 scores. You got to see how he does with the onside kick.
Onside kick, and then try to get in that hurry-up offense.
I'm going to go back to Matt Wells for a moment. Former quarterback, and you were a longtime professional quarterback. When you coach and you played that position, it's difficult. And then throw in the fact that a guy he has immense respect for, a guy who's played a lot of football there, senior quarterback in Kent Myers, he's had to sit him down because he made the decision to go with Jordan Love. And he said, man, he goes, that's not easy. It's not easy because you build a relationship over a long period of time. He loves number 2, and it's tough love. But look at that kid. It tells you something about him. Senior, few games left in his college football career, and he's standing on the sideline with a smile on his face.
Right, but has always been that stand-up kind of guy.
Yep.
And I think that's why Coach Wells trusts him and has the kind of care and love he has for him. I mean, he's broke up about that.
Yep.
Like having to sit him down. But
I love how he explained it to us a couple of weeks ago. He said, here's the onside kick, and Levitt grabs it, and Levitt's returning it to the 33-yard line. Good hands from Levitt. Utah State will have the football there. Remember what Coach Wells said? He said, if you ask me about a lot of things, I'm not big on saying, hey, I know what you're feeling, I know what you're thinking. He said, if I don't, or if I haven't been there. He said, but when I sat Kent Myers down, he said, I know what you feel because I was that guy many years ago when I got benched as a college quarterback, and then I got reinserted. He said, so I do know what you feel.
And I think it comes off a little disingenuous at times when people say, I understand what you're feeling, when you really have no idea.
Yep.
And he was honest, completely honest, and made that point. It kind of struck a chord with me when he said it.
Absolutely.
Because it made complete sense.
Well, you know what? It's not just coaches. Lawan Hunt had the run, and then the officials having to break up an altercation in the backfield.
I don't think I've ever heard so many whistles. They're still going off.
Aaron Blackwell was involved, looks like, with Rob Castaneda. Look at Castaneda.
Three to a defensive
Keep an eye on
player.
these two.
These guys have been doing it all day long.
And they start getting after him. Sometimes guys just got to go, especially up front. Getting after each other.
Yeah, I was saying a moment ago, said when you're out on the recruiting trail and then you bring kids in for a visit, Yeah, they're seeing the facilities, and they're with, you know, the coaching staff, but they're also spending a lot of time with the kids that are already there. And ultimately, a lot of times, it's the kids that are already there that sell the program. In a private moment, you say, hey, what's coach really like? Or what's my position coach like? Well, if you're a quarterback coming in, you're going to say Matt Wells is honest. He played the spot, and he's going to tell you like it is. There's no BS.
But do you ask for anything more? As a player, as a young man, can you ask for anything more than somebody to be honest with you?
That's what you want. And what you want in life, right?
I think sometimes people can't handle honesty. But that's what you should want and expect.
Lawan Hunt, who had over 100 yards rushing in the first half, including a 65-yard run, just trying to take care of the football. As Utah State is up 24-10, 2.5 left. And a 3rd and 7, 2 timeouts left for both schools. Utah State has no interest in using theirs.
Not at all. Take their time. The official stepped in because there was a substitution.
I told you Utah State had no interest in using their timeouts unless the play clock was about to expire.
Utah State called their 2nd timeout of the half.
But even then, why? Just let it run out.
Well, I don't mind it there, because then instead of 3rd and 12, 3rd and 7, pick up the first down. I'm sure that's what Coach Wells was thinking. Today's player of the game is brought to you by Ace Hardware. Well, we just mentioned him, Lawan Hunt. 13 carries this afternoon, 117 yards. He's been in the end zone twice. And this was the big one, Seth.
Yeah, showed some speed and burst. Tell you what, he's had to get the dirty and the tough 3, the tough 2. But he had the nice breakaway, which got him the chunk of his yards.
And that was huge, too, because even though New Mexico was shooting themselves in the proverbial foot, that moved the game to an 11-point margin for Utah State.
Just after they kicked the field goal. So, yes, it was a huge, huge play. Kind of kept that breathing room for the Aggies.
And Love throws it to Raymond, and Raymond will have a first down. The 6'5" tight end from Provo with his 2nd catch of the afternoon.
And I love me some Dax Raymond. This kid's a player. You can't throw the ball enough to him.
No, and he's pretty good in the run game, too.
He is.
He's got prototypical tight end size, 6'5", 245.
Just a sophomore. A sophomore.
As Keith Jackson would say, just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore.
Oh, Lawan Hunt breaks 1 tackle, could not break the 2nd.
Casio hit him in the backfield. Wasn't able to bring him down.
And New Mexico not trying to stop the clock. 1.5 left. The Lobos are going to fall to 3-6, 1-5 in the conference after a 9-win season last year. Trey Miller's now checked in, number 20 in the backfield for Utah State. Mr. Alvarez again.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 51, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Well said. We're moving into the month of November. You've seen a lot of Mountain West football this year. Give me your top 3. Hate to put you on the spot there, but it's been a tough season to figure. There's a slide by Love at the 21-yard line.
It is tough to figure. I think talent-wise, CSU has got to be right there. Boise State, and to me, it's a toss-up between San Diego State and Fresno State.
I'm looking forward again to seeing Fresno State. We'll be in Laramie in 2 weeks, and we know Wyoming can play defense. Unfortunately for Josh Allen, they graduate a lot of top-notch receivers and a real good tight end.
A ton of talented skill guys left the program last year.
Not
to go play on the next level.
Right, a 1,000-yard back who's playing on the next level. Brian Hill.
So yeah, he's I mean, for the lack of talent that he has to play with, or I should say not talent, maybe inexperience is a better word for it, that he has to play with. He's actually pulled it together over the last 4 or 5 weeks. They've played extremely well, led by that defense, and he's not in a position where he has to feel like he does everything or has to do everything for them to win.
Yep, we'll see them in 2 weeks. It is now a final. 24-10. Utah State has snapped a 2-game slide against Bob Davie and New Mexico. And with the win, Utah State improves to 5-5. They're 3-3 in league play. Again, the Lobos fall to 3-6 overall. And Utah State a game away from bowl eligibility. Well said, this one was a game of errors, and New Mexico made far more than Utah State.
Too many early on. Got them in a hole, and they weren't able to really dig themselves out and get it going offensively. They've got to have a short memory because they've got to go down and play Texas A&M next week, and it's not going to get any easier. They've got to have a quick, short memory, work hard, and try to forget about the mistakes and correct them.
And a nice win for Utah State to build on as they get ready for Hawaii after a bye week. That'll do it from Albuquerque, New Mexico. We thank you for watching Mountain West football. Once again, Utah State 24-10 over New Mexico. Join us again in a couple of weeks when we're in Laramie. It'll be the Cowboys and the Fresno State Bulldogs. For my partner, Sed Bonner, and Brad Thompson, and our entire AT&T Sportsnet crew, Drew Goodman saying so long from Albuquerque. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, everybody. This has been a production of AT&T Sportsnet and the Mountain West.